Hey everyone, this is the Casually Toxic Podcast, episode 13. It is March 25th, 2018. Sirius is here and Ian, per usual. What's
Hello.
up, guys?
How do you do?
Doing. Listen to that BT Bam Automata a little bit.
Not really been. I listened to it when it first came out, and then I listened to it for a couple days, and I was like, it's alright.
So, for a little background on this, two of the members of this podcast, Sirius and I, listen to a lot of metal, which is just kind of like I feel like it's kind of like a nerd genre of music that lines up with video games
Yes,
sometimes.
It's I feel like if you don't listen to metal, you listen to EDM, you listen to EDM because you're stupid. You listen to
opinion.
metal, people who are like into video games, especially like fucking grindy, competitive, whatever kind of video games like that, like hardcore video games are more into metal because people tend to equate playing really fast with playing really well.
Yeah.
Because that's like, and they think like playing, if you're better at guitar, then you make better music, right? That's like the mindset.
Yeah,
because like in the video
yeah.
game, like if you're better at the game, then you're better. Like if you get a higher score, then you're better.
It took me a long time to get past that mindset. Actually, for the longest time,
I listened to music like that a long fucking time, a long ass time.
Yeah.
Be like, they don't even do like guitar solos. Like he doesn't even play like as many notes as possible. What the fuck is this?
Yeah,
he must suck.
Yeah, it's actually only until like somewhat like last year or two where I started breaking out of that mindset where I was like, you know, composition also matters. It's not just about like how fast they can play, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I still love that shit, but it's not the only thing.
But you know, actually, metal, like in terms of like playing faster or whatever, like it also that applies to like when I'm working or whatever. Like I've worked in pizza places, I worked in a networking company, blah blah blah. But like I'll listen to metal at work, and that'll like just increase my productivity. I don't know if it's placebo.
No, it's the same. It's the same thing as like people what they listen to like in the gym or like if you're driving, like a certain song comes on, you start like speeding, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? Why am I going like 100 miles an hour? It's like, oh, I'm listening to Judas Priest. That's like.
But BT Bam is between the buried and me for any interested parties, and it's kind of one, I guess, the long-running kind of like staple bands of the genre.
They're pretty fucking big. And they're so big that they have a lot of haters.
Yeah, I don't know who's bigger other than like when you start getting like Dance Gavin Dance or Periphery. I guess.
Oh, there's plenty of like bigger bands.
You with like as big like modern fan bases.
Yeah, Between the Buried and Me is playing at the Masquerade. Like there are metal bands that come and play.
I mean, I can think of like Opeth plays at like Tabernacle. I just can't think of a lot of bands in that style that are like kind of that.
Oh, you mean like in that genre?
Yeah, like
in that genre, they're definitely like the biggest.
Unless you're starting to talk about like bands like Metallica and stuff.
Yeah, I'm talking about like metal bands.
Sure.
But like if you're talking about like prog metal.
Yeah, like prog metal.
They're probably like one of the biggest.
Yeah.
Like top 3 probably biggest.
Anyway, they released their new album called Automata, which in my brain I was just like, near Automata, Automata. Like Automata, I feel like might become like this weird buzzword and like niche like internet.
It's always
culture.
been like a sci-fi thing.
I guess
talking about like androids and cyborgs and.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't know. Those were two big things that happened
Between the Buried
in my
and
world.
Super like sci-fi space oriented.
Yeah, they are. But they released their first. It's a 2-part album, and they released part 1 called Automata. And you kind of bounced off the first part a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, it's like so the first part is what's out right now, and they did this before with their albums like Parallax 1 and Parallax 2. This one's called Automata 1, Part 1. So the next one will be called Part 2. And hopefully it comes out like soon, like Parallax 2.
Parallax 1 and Parallax 2 are both full-length albums, though. Whereas this is
Parallax 1 is not. It's not like to me, it's not like a full-length album.
Okay. I recall it being more like a full-length album, and then Parallax 2 was like the second album, whereas this is literally like, to me, one album because it's only 6 songs with 2 like 1-minute songs.
Yeah, it's just to me it's just like really short and
it's 33 minutes. Yeah,
they have that second song I think or the third song, the one that starts with this weird fucking like drum beat. It's not weird, but it's like really out of place to me for Between the Buried and Me. It sounds like it's about to be like a fucking new metal song or something.
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
You could definitely hear it on the radio, and I was like, ooh.
I feel a lot of metal bands in like especially prog and stuff like always have a lot of them. I know throw in like one song in there, like and that's their like shot at getting a little bit more mainstream.
A little bit of money.
Like Every Time I Die, released on their recent album had a song where they had Panic at the Disco's vocalist Brendan Urie.
But Every Time I Die is pretty fucking big, like among the like pop punk crowd.
Yeah, pop punk and just like general hardcore. You really? You don't?
I hate pop. Like I like every time I die, I've seen them like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But that's because I went to Warped Tour like twice. They literally go to every single fucking Warped Tour. But yeah, I saw Protest the Hero at that same Warped Tour.
They're doing their anniversary tour.
Yeah, I don't like Protest the Hero anymore either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't like their albums since like fucking. I don't know. I didn't like their last 2 albums, or maybe even the one before that. I like kind of like just.
There was Scurrilous, and then Volition, and then I don't like their most.
Yeah,
recent
I kind
one.
of just put up with Volition, and I bought Volition on vinyl. I have it.
Really?
And, yeah, and I was like, just because of how much I like their previous albums.
Uh-huh.
But what happened is when RF the bassist left the band is when I stopped liking them as much, because he also had like big songwriting duties, and that's when they like. The singer, I can't remember his name anymore.
Rhodey.
Yeah, that's right, Rhodey.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he got more of the songwriting duties once RF left, because RF left the band to like write plays full time. So he was like a real like storyteller. When Rhodey became like the primary songwriter, I think the songs became more like pop punky, and the lyrics became more, to me, like cheesy.
Yeah.
You know, like I prefer people to like metal bands, especially to talk about like dumb shit, like fucking wizards and dragons and shit.
Yeah.
But like, and like I listen to like other metal bands that talk about like serious things like that. But I don't know. To me, it's just like the thing that he's talking about. It's just like cheesy to me.
Sure.
I don't know.
Some of them are like, I just connect with Protest the Hero songs depending on like what the topic is for that particular song, and some of them are really dumb. Like Mist is all about them going to Newfoundland or whatever, and just them getting like how much they love it and how much they get drunk there. Yeah, and like that's the topic of the.
And like I do like appreciate that like they make songs that are like not serious at all. Yeah, like the lyrics are just dumb, and that's like they know, and it's part of the appeal. And like I liked some of those songs, but like.
They have Clarity, which is Star Wars versus Star Trek, which is always amusing.
I just remember, like, when I first got into the band, like, Rhodey's voice put me off the most, like, of anything about the band. Because it's, like, it is very, like, pop-punky. That, like, has that, like, whiny tone to it. Yeah. That, like, I don't know, it just puts me off. I don't. That's, like, my main...
I always viewed it as more, like, a theatrical, kind of, like, almost opera type.
Well, I like that's the thing. I like when he sings, like... really big like that, but like he has other, like especially on the first album, he sounds like super like whiny in some parts.
That's fair. Well, that has been Casually Toxic's Metal Minute for the first time ever. It's gonna be a segment if
you keep doing it. It's fine. There's new albums every week.
We're sorry, Ian.
Maybe have to start listening to it.
It's so out of my wheel. Like I like rock music, but it gets to a point with metal where like, I understand that it's like such a bad, not a bad viewpoint, but just like it just sounds shit.
It's an acquired taste.
Metal's a huge genre too.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I'm
it's
definitely
a huge genre, and it's a very acquired taste.
I'm definitely talking more towards the heavier screaming, lyrics. I'm not sure if this album is that, but.
Yeah, no, this BT Bam's album is more than ever has made a return to kind of like heavier vocals. I
guess so.
Because Coma Elliptic was 90% like.
Yeah, they have
vocals.
like throughout their like history though become less. Just like growly screaming. Yeah, less like metal, less black metal, less.
Yeah, his Tommy's growl is a very specific growl. He occasionally pop into other songs for other bands, and immediately I'll recognize who it is. Yeah. Now that is the end.
Why are we talking about a dude's growl?
Well,
because
this is the shit, man. Like, give me some easy to digest radio music. You know, I'll have that shit. Don't give me this. I don't want to listen to it 3 times.
Ian's afraid of thinking.
I mean, that's.
Give me
To be fair, your opinion is the most popular opinion towards music, so I can't really like.
Well, I feel like it's not like, I don't know. Well, people listen to the radio a lot, but it's not because like. It's because the radio like comes to them. They don't have to.
Yeah, it's out of
that's the people who like listen to primarily music on the radio don't really like music that much, because they're just like, I just like whatever has a beat. It's like, well, I guess you don't really like it, huh? It's like, well, do you like movies? Yeah, I just like it as long as they talk. You know, as long as there is dialogue. You know.
I don't think that doesn't mean you like music though. Like I like.
You don't like music that much. That's what I said. You don't like music that much.
Okay.
It's like only playing The Sims and saying you are deep into video games.
Yeah. It's just like,
which is fine. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna bash someone that only plays The Sims or like music is up to your taste. but like. You're a simpleton, Ian. It's okay.
I'm okay being a simpleton.
The world needs its simpletons in the music world.
Screaming ass bullshit. I'll be a simpleton.
All right, this has been the third act of Casually Toxic's Metal Minute.
That was much
Culture
longer than
critique.
Culture critique. So moving on to news for the week, 2 weeks, month. What is the
a little while.
It's whatever strikes our fancy.
Just a couple of boys.
Just a couple boys looking at stupid news in the world that has nothing to do with anything other than video games.
Hell yeah. Or just
sometimes metal.
Does anyone want to take responsibility of the musical bit this week?
The musical bit?
For the news?
Oh, we got to do our fucking thing.
I thought you were the man.
Okay, all right. 12 million, a failed game. Paragon assets released for free.
Yeah, so... Did anybody else play Paragon, or did I just play Paragon?
No, but Nate told me about it, and I laughed at him. So I was like, why the fuck are you playing Paragon?
So Nate also told me about Paragon, except I didn't laugh at him.
It was a MOBA, right?
Yeah, and I bought it.
PS4.
You bought it?
I bought it.
It wasn't. It was a non-free-to-play MOBA?
It was an early access,
You had to pay to get early access.
So it was $20. That game is horrible. Or it was when I played it for 2 days.
So I guess it's not overly surprising that
you played
Epic
it for 2
abandoned
days, and I bet you played for more than like 98% of people who played that game.
It's very possible. That game had a lot of problems. Granted, I got in very early, and I know they made a lot of changes, but it kind of sucks when a new game fails, especially because it was third person, and the other third person mobile right now is Smite, which is run by Hi-Rez, which is just, in my opinion, a horrible company.
I think the reason people were mad, though, right? Tell me if I'm correct on this, is that the only reason it was abandoned was because they switched their focus to Fortnite, right?
I don't think so. I think it died before Fortnite really blew up.
Well, it might have died on release, but the reason they stopped putting any resources...
You mean like the final nail?
Yeah, they switched all the resources over to Fortnite.
Sure.
Like, if it wasn't for Fortnite, they still might be trying to...
Yeah, but it wasn't doing well. That's
fair.
You're doing like a what-if scenario, and you have no idea. I mean, like, with Paragon, they when it failed, they gave everybody a refund, which I guess that means I have a refund.
How much was it?
It was only like $20.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah, they gave everybody a refund, and then they released all the assets for free, and then basically said,
I wonder if you can use those assets in anything.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're free to use.
Anything in Unreal Engine, because that's also Epic.
You
can probably use that shit all together.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
mean, the fact that you could see those assets popping up in like multiple games across.
Yeah, well, it's a strategy that like is used by like companies that have like a kind of a monopoly. I mean, I know that like Epic and the Unreal Engine aren't like a monopoly, but it is like the most popular, I think, engine, like easily accessible, because they made it free a while back too, right?
I kind of agree with that statement. It's really tied between Unity and Unreal Engine.
Yeah,
I feel like Unity, at least in terms of like very beginning game developers, they usually push people towards Unity.
Yeah, so that's what they're trying to do. Is they're just like, we'll give you more free shit so that like indie developers, when they're making their new game, will use Unreal over Unity or whatever other engine they might like have access to.
Yeah.
Unless they're one of those insane people who wants to make their own engine for their first indie game.
And to be clear on why, like, just I find it.
I mean, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But
I find it interesting personally. Is like the main difference between those really in terms of like starting out is Unity involves a lot more like hand-on coding. Like you have to write all the scripts yourself, whereas with Unreal Engine, some of that stuff is a little more automated. But Unreal Engine is being used a lot now. So. But then Subnautica was made entirely in Unity, which is like crazy to me after doing some stuff in Unity. But
game engines just seem super complicated. I don't even know where you would start with trying to make one.
Oh, in terms of making one, I have no idea. In terms of starting with it, it's simpler than you think.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I think I messed with Unreal Engine forever ago, and it was just like the demo or trial, whatever, free version. But I don't know, man. Like that seems insanely hard to like create something with.
Yeah, I haven't sat down and started thinking about how it would be done, but yeah, making a toolkit is like a special type of like coding that hurts my brain to think about. As someone that programs, that hurts my brain to think about. But it's really cool that they released those assets.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a feel-good thing. coming out of like a bad scenario for the people that were playing that game.
I think Epic right now is like, excuse me, Epic's in the spotlight, obviously, with Fortnite, and you know, kind of going hand in hand with that. Part of the reason people are positive on Fortnite is Epic has been very vocal with their community and very like, they're communicating and they're keeping up with stuff. I mean, obviously they're there to make money first and foremost, right? So just to have kind of this game that they failed, they didn't fail, but the game failed.
They gave
whatever,
up on.
right? Yeah, and just to have like another great PR move, I guess. Because I don't know, what would you do with Paragon assets if you're not going to just release them?
Put them towards another game in development.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened with Blizzard and Titan. They canceled their MMO.
Yeah, but they didn't release. There wasn't early access Titan.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is just
Paragon got pretty far along in development.
You can't like, oh, that's not a Paragon character, you know. Like,
but would people have cared? Like if they
people wouldn't have cared.
Yeah,
people would have forgotten. Not that many
it.
people played it, and people would have forgotten. Especially if it came out in a different genre entirely. You know, if it wasn't a MOBA.
I mean, I feel like it was just a good PR move because like this.
You
is
think
just
they could ever make a MOBA on console that would take off? Smite's on console, isn't it?
Smite's
and
on console, and that's what
has
Paragon's
taken
trying
off.
to do.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, like, is the MOBA market saturated? You think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like no one else
are
can
very
move in.
saturated.
Like no one can move in now, but people should stop trying to make it. Now the people are all moving on to obviously the fucking battle royale games. But
I don't know if people can't move in. Maybe they can't move in, but
I
like
don't think
the problem.
I don't think there's a lot of like I don't know. League and Dota are still growing, right? They still get more players every year.
Okay, this is. I read this a while ago, but I thought Dota 2 wasn't growing. I thought I read something that like
it peaked.
One of their European servers. I mean, this is just a random news article that I came across. One of their European servers was like dropping or like bleeding players, really. So I'm not sure. Then again, I obviously don't keep up with Dota 2 a ton, and I keep up with League way more. So
yeah.
And having like a MOBA take off on consoles is very unlikely. Like that console MOBAs aren't saturated, but the problem with that is everyone can run League or Dota on their shitty laptop.
Yeah, but there are people out there who just like don't want to play PC games at all. They want to play with a controller.
Yeah.
And they don't want to play with the controller on their PC.
Yeah, I guess I question how big that market is when like MOBAs are like definitively better to play on
I think
PC
it's big enough of market just
PC.
In America, you know. Just in America and like Western Europe, it's a big enough market to warrant like someone putting enough development time into it.
I mean, it's an interesting question.
If you could make a good one.
I really do wonder if they're all just wrapped up in
I mean,
Smite.
how popular is Smite on console?
Yeah, I don't think
I don't know.
because I never heard of anybody talk about Smite except for you guys and Derek.
I've heard a lot of people talk about Smite.
Well, that's what they always talk about. Like, there's League, Dota, and then there's Smite.
Yeah, it's like it's in the big three.
And Heroes. Is Heroes
Poor
bigger than
Heroes.
Smite? I think Heroes is actually bigger than Smite.
I think Heroes quickly lost a lot of players after they did that whole big update, and everyone's like, "Oh, Heroes is pretty cool." And then like you play it for a while, and like, well, I guess this is it. I mean, they added in new characters all the time. They just added in Phoenix, which is cool if you're big into StarCraft lore, which nobody is.
I came across a dude.
Is that the main character?
Randomly on the internet that was saying Heroes of the Storm.
Jim Raynor's the main character. That's Gears of War. This guy is he's a Protoss who valiantly sacrifices himself so that his allies can escape, but then it turns out that he didn't die, and they turned him into a robot and put him inside of a Dragoon.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I'm slightly salty that like someone says Phoenix and I automatically reference Gears of War, which is a game I played like once a decade ago.
It's a good fucking game, dude.
It is a good game. I like
which one?
1 and 2 and 3.
Okay.
Are all good games.
Okay.
What is your opinion on this? Are 1 and 2 bad and 3 is the best one, Matt?
I don't have strong opinions on Gears of War.
Oh.
I played the first one. I dabbled with second and third. I never got that into it. They
I
were
loved
fine.
those games, dude. Yeah. Those were really good.
Isn't there a fourth one now?
Yes, and there's another. There's like 2 other ones that aren't numbered. They have like a subtitle.
Oh. But they're okay. It's an Xbox One exclusive.
Yeah, they've always
Gears
been
of War
Xbox
4 is
exclusives.
Xbox One.
For some reason, I thought they'd release it on the Microsoft Store or whatever.
That was before the Play Anywhere initiative, I think, where now everything.
Yeah, they were trying to be like, oh, just Gears 4 will sell Xbox Ones, and it turns out it didn't.
So relaying back to like Fortnite and pulling in something with all the focus being on Fortnite right now. Did anyone watch the Ninja Drake stream?
I didn't watch it.
I was already on Twitch. I stumbled into it. I realized that 400,000 people were watching Ninja, and I was like, "What the fuck is even happening?" And then I opened it. Everyone was spamming Drake. I was like, "I don't even fucking listen to Drake. I don't know what is."
Yeah.
It was not like as cringy as I thought it was going to be. Like he got on to stream and like he's
playing. They win a couple times.
Well, not because of Drake.
Well, yeah, but
yeah,
they still won.
Ninja's a fucking monster.
It's insane how they wouldn't get just like massively sniped unless.
Yeah, I was wondering why they didn't.
Unless they have like some like crazy delay on the stream, probably is what they did or something.
I have no idea. It was just amusing because Drake was playing on PS4, so he was playing with the controller on the PC.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, it wasn't super cringy. Like Drake was pretty chill and just like, yeah, I like your stuff, Ninja. And Ninja was like, I like your stuff, and that was like it for like 2 hours of just that, and then Drake running off and dying immediately, and Ninja just being Ninja and destroying everything. It was just weird. There was an interview on CNBC with Ninja where he was like,
"That's fucking weird."
Yeah, it was. As soon as I saw that stream, I think it peaked at 600,000. I was like,
dude.
this is going to be
Bezos is fucking rubbing his grimy hands together right now, dude.
Yeah,
all these fucking free publicity, dude. They just put Drake on that shit.
Yeah.
And then now people are going to realize how much fucking advertising you can get by just putting your shit on the biggest streamers on Twitch. Because, like, how many of the fucking people who watch Ninja or any big-ass streamer are, like, under the age of 15 and, like, highly impressionable to advertising? They're going to be like, hell fucking yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like, because right now all you see are, like, fucking, like, cup noodles and, like, you know, fucking expensive-ass gaming headsets that kids can't afford.
Yeah. Well, that 600,000 was an all-time high for like a non-tournament, like just a personal streamer. That's the new record. I think Dr. Disrespect had the second highest
when
at 400.
Came back.
Yeah.
Before that, it was like Tyler come back, and then before that, it was like Faker streaming solo queue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a weird thing, and I was like, video games are fucking weird.
That's crazy.
I was like, how long until we have like Trump playing with Ninja?
Dude, there will come a time in the future when a presidential like candidate plays a game on Twitch to get the young kids to vote for him.
I think that
that's coming. It's coming very soon. Oh my god, dude!
I was surprised Twitch didn't like crash under it, but I don't know how they like
got
dedicate
Amazon,
resources.
Dude. To Amazon servers,
and
it's a billion-dollar company, trillion-dollar company.
I'm pretty sure with like they may have upgraded like with fucking Tyler coming back and then Dr. Disrespect coming back or whatever.
Yeah, I mean the stream lagged at a few points, but it wasn't like it never just completely shut down.
I mean, good for Twitch is.
Ninja was trying to get Drake to tweet out the stream, and it's because Drake is rich. He was like talking to someone in the background. He was like, "Did I tweet it out yet?" And some guy in the background was just like, "No, not yet." And he was like, and then like 5 minutes later, he'd be like, "Did I tweet out?" He's like, "Yeah, no, you tweeted it." I was like, "You didn't fucking what?" He's
got a PR team, dude.
And then he was having issues running the game, so instead of fixing it himself, Epic like called him and troubleshooted it for him.
Holy shit!
It's just like when money runs into like running into basic video game issues. It was very strange.
That's just insane how big that must have been.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. So that was the Ninja Drake. Toys R Us is closing stores.
R.I.P. Toys R Us. It's where I got my fucking Super Nintendo and my N64.
They came for Blockbuster, now they're coming for Toys R Us, man.
Yeah, Blockbuster, I definitely got some important game from Blockbuster, but I can't remember what. I used to get Jet Force Gemini from Blockbuster all the time. Do you guys ever play that on N64? It's made by Rare. It was like a third-person shooter. Maybe sometimes it was first-person, I don't know. But I remember like idolizing that game when I was little because I didn't have it. Remember like when you were little, you didn't have certain games, you went over to your friend's house to play it, and that game was so fucking sick. But it was mostly because you couldn't play it all the time. It was because you could only play when you go to your friend's house. And like that's how Jet Force Gemini was for me. I was like, dude, I fucking need that game. And then I remember like one day when I was older, and I was like, yo, I can get an N64 emulator and like play it on my fucking computer. And I played Jet Force Gemini, and it ran at like fucking like 10 frames a second. And I was like, damn, this game fucking sucked. It was just too little and stupid.
I definitely went to Blockbuster, but I didn't ever go Toys R Us for like any reason.
So
damn, dude, you never like played with Legos? Nah. Dude, Legos were huge in this house, and they all came from Toys R Us.
See, that's where I got my first Wii, was Toys R Us.
The Wii.
When it was still like nobody could get it.
I camped out in front of a Best Buy to get the Wii.
I camped out in front of Walmart with my dad for like 9 hours, and they like handed out tickets to the first 20 people, and I got a ticket.
Yeah, I got a ticket too.
Then I played Twilight Princess, and then I got rid of the Wii.
It was one of those things where like we just walked in randomly, not knowing, and we're like, "Hey, do you have any Wiis?" And they're just like, "Yeah, we just got them in stock." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what? You actually just got them in stock? That's insane." But that's so sad that they're closing their fucking doors.
Yeah, it's too bad.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
like, people,
online shopping's way bigger now.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine most people would go to the internet for toys. I can't.
And they just said, I think they're just removing it from the U.S., but I'm not sure how much.
Well, how many stores are not in the U.S.?
Yeah, how many are like
Also, the companies obviously ran like shit. Like, they're actually, are they closing down even? I thought they just filed for bankruptcy, which is different.
I can find it, but you gotta give me a second.
Because like filing for bankruptcy is not closing down.
There's a closing
Filing
sale.
for bankruptcy is just like, hey, we don't want to pay any taxes because we're not making a lot of money. Give us a couple years of no taxes.
I thought it said to remove all U.S. stores.
Oh, I mean that's fine too. But yeah, because I was reading about how like they fucking obviously mistreat their fucking employees and don't pay them
like
shit. And
third world Toys R Us.
No, Toys R Us in America, where they're like, yeah, we'll hire you.
No, I
and
mean,
then give you
like they're
hours
closing all the U.S. ones, but
that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
it's like
other Toys R Us?
That counts to a grand total of like 10 other Toys R Us outside the U.S.
Yeah, and are they in like third world countries?
No, they're probably in like Canada, right next to the border.
That's fair.
Like,
I mean, not that it's any real experience, but I've been to 2 countries in the past year, and I would have seen if there was a fucking Toys R Us in China or Mexico.
They definitely don't have that shit in China.
I don't think they have it in Mexico either.
Probably not.
All right, who knows? Dude.
They got their own toy stores in Mexico.
It's gonna take me more than Googling for 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it, dude.
R.I.P. Toys R Us.
R.I.P.
Pouring one out.
Yep.
We can, in 20 years, make a nostalgia piece about it.
Yeah.
Netflix can release a Toys R Us centric documentary.
Yeah, with just like a bunch of dramatic angles. Why did Toys R Us really close?
Smash on.
Also,
No, it's your responsibility now. Fuck you.
I'm sorry, Matt. I would never. I'm sorry.
You can do it. You can say Smash on Switch. You can. Say
all right, so Smash came out on Switch, boys.
It already came out.
That's fucking exciting.
Or it's not. It got announced. It got announced at the very.
That was a quick turnaround.
It did not come out. It got announced at the end of a Nintendo Direct, and they baited everybody by thinking it was going to be a Splatoon thing.
They did. It was a cool trailer. And a gigantic fucking Smash thing in the sky. And it's flaming there.
The Smash that came out on Wii U?
I don't believe that it is
new Smash.
Yeah, I think it's a new Smash, and that's because yes, we all saw the donkey video with the fucking tail or whatever.
Yeah.
But what they really showed is that when they show some zoomed up silhouettes of fucking Link and Mario, and the Link is the Breath of the Wild Link. And he's wearing the costume, and he has like a different, it's a different model. And people are like, why would they make the Smash 4 on Switch and then make an entirely new Link, and just like not be doing that shit?
That's what.
And the Mario looks updated too, so it's like, and Sakurai made a tweet that he's like, we've been working on this for a while, and I'm excited to finally tell you about it. And at E3, there's going to be a tournament. Smash tournament, Smash on Switch. So they're going to be announcing some shit soon before E3. Maybe. I'm just assuming. Or they'll just show up and be like, alright, yeah, here's the guys. You already knew that like Mario and Link and Jigglypuff are going to be in, so.
Neat. Maybe I get like a weird impression of Smash because the people that I do know that play Smash are like super into it. But
yeah.
It has
like,
that
does anyone that plays Smash care about new Smash games? Because like everyone I know is just like diehard Melee and will never play
you have a warped
else.
view because those are the only people that
you know
that play Smash, and those people have an issue in the head where
I don't know, like
if the game is not competitive.
If he's thinking about the same people I'm thinking about, they're pretty normal. It's just they're really into Melee.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's just like a stereotype about people who are like super into Melee. They're like, I only play Melee because Melee's serious, and then people are like, yeah, you're talking about a fucking like Nintendo. Yeah, it's like you're talking about a Nintendo game that's for kids. Like, all right, dude.
I guess like if
No, like Sakurai has explicitly
listen
to what happened. Like when they made Melee with all that shit. Like first off, the reason the Melee is competitive is because of like bad coding and it's all glitches.
Yes.
It was not intended for that.
I'm
shit
aware
to
of that. But...
Okay, so then when they made fucking Brawl, Sakurai put shit in the game specifically to prevent the game from ever taking off competitively. Shit like tripping. Your character will randomly just trip for no reason. So that you will just like fucking fall over and fuck up like a combo or whatever you're trying to do. There's like a shit ton of RNG in the game because Sakurai has stated like on multiple occasions, he's like, this is a party game. You play this with your friends to have fun. Don't turn off the fucking items. You know?
Yeah. I've never played Smash without turning off the items.
That's what I'm saying. Like... like to Sakurai, he's just like, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, to say Nintendo's always like very, like, they often don't have a level head about certain things.
No, yeah, that's
like,
what I'm saying. That like Nintendo's stupid. Like I love the company, but they're fucking stupid.
So I think even though it was like bad coding and like maybe it was for.
Well, no, I'm not saying like
it's not like a bad game.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but I'm saying that like it was not their intention.
Oh yeah.
And so they don't want to make a competitive game. That's why when they made Smash 4 and they tried to like appeal to the people playing fucking competitive Smash. They were like, look, we added in these things that like make it competitive, but it's like still not like Melee. It's not as fast, and like there's all these mechanics that people don't like. That it's Smash 4 is still not as popular as Melee.
I still don't completely understand why they don't just kind of remake Melee, because like if you don't know,
Melee HD has been a meme for so fucking long,
if you don't know like what Melee is, like those layers of it that are just buggy and like insane and people exploit it at face value, it just looks like a Smash game. So I'm like,
yeah,
I just wonder why they don't just include all that glitchy shit for the competitive people, and then the casual people won't care anyway.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Nintendo could do a lot of fucking like things that would be like, hey, do you just want to make like $1 billion? Like, why isn't there a Pokemon MMO? Like, why haven't you done that yet?
I bet if
you know, there's just like sometimes they just do shit.
I don't know what they would do beyond the Pokemon MMOs that already exist.
Why is all of your online features been dog shit for the past 10 years? You know,
what the hell was that chat function?
Yeah, why are friend codes a thing? Like, what the fuck? You know, like Nintendo, they do some dumbass shit. You got a lot of shit
to answer for, Nintendo.
they do some dumbass shit, but then they also make like Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey.
We should send them a letter.
You're like, oh, okay, well, you know, it's not that bad.
I agree on one of those 2 points, but you can reference our Game of the Year podcast.
Those were good games.
Yes, I know.
Whether or not they're the best games.
I just wanted to make a nice throwback to Game of the
Go
Year.
check it out. The deep lore on the CT Pod.
Another game, or another company that made children's games. Sea of Thieves.
Oh, Rare.
That's my transition.
Rare took a big,
those pretty good kids games.
The only reason that I'm doing this podcast is I want to get really good at transitioning from just weird things to other weird things, and that's my whole thing.
Yeah, I mean that was smooth. It's kids games to kids games. So Sea of Thieves for kids. No content.
It's not for kids. It's just
it's for children. It's for children that don't know the difference between content and lack of content. Right? Am I right, Ian?
Oh my god.
No.
I mean, I don't know, man. This game is $60, and honestly, it feels kind of like an early access thing.
It is an early access thing.
You know what it also is? Played it.
Yeah, I refuse to play this shit.
It sounds like No Man's Sky 2.0.
Yeah, I saw the fucking that Spider-Man meme where he's like pointing at the other Spider-Man, and one is No Man's Sky, and the other one's Sea of Thieves.
That's really funny. It's these stupid, ambitious ideas that they just can't like realize.
Well, also, it is stupid ambitious, but it is also trying to sell the brand new Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, which it's succeeding in doing, and I know this because my girlfriend's roommate bought it and was super stoked that she could play Sea of Thieves for $5.
Wait,
yeah, because why the fuck would you pay $60 for that game? But Game Pass, $5 a month, and you get some kind of deals.
I assume there's a catch there. I think you no longer own the game once it cycles out. So theoretically, they could cycle Sea of Thieves out in a month, and then you wouldn't own it anymore.
I have no idea how that shit works.
I think that,
there's no way.
There's a catch there. There's no way they're offering $5 a month deal without some catch and getting access to $60 games. Ian is currently reading.
I'm looking. I'm trying to find it. There's just no way.
It says trial.
Yeah, and it's also says
Xbox Game Pass trial. So the Game Pass is on trial.
It says they're just gonna add new games.
Yeah. I'm going to
It's
guess.
$10 a month. Cancel
Okay.
any time, and you get
Well,
this
the first month
thing.
might be $5.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
It's a service you sign up for on Xbox. It's kind of like PlayStation Plus. But
Save
not.
up to 20% on all Xbox One game purchases, 10% on all related add-ons, and new titles added every month, including new games like Sea of Thieves.
Okay.
Crackdown 3, they're
Ian
also
is
showing
looking at
here.
the
State of
fact.
Decay.
It says unlimited access.
Or a game leaves the Game Pass catalog.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what do you think? I don't think they're gonna be like, oh, you enjoyed Sea of Thieves? Well, it's out
Why
of the catalog.
not?
Gears
That's so
4,
fucking
Halo
smart.
Wars
Give
2.
them access to that game for $10. Get them hooked. When it cycles out, they now have to buy it.
And then also, if they don't get hooked, then you have a fucking PR shitstorm where people are shitting on your company on Reddit for a whole fucking month, and then nobody buys the game anymore.
Well, that's fair too.
Yeah, but
Don't. Yeah, like you can't have that. That
It's
would
the
be
same
like
shit that
so
happened with
terrible.
I
Battlefront
think
2,
I
it
think
didn't
Sea of
matter.
Thieves is reaching beyond people that like follow Reddit shitstorms. Though again, I know like multiple people that like don't.
I don't know.
Really
If
play
the game
games.
is as empty as everyone says, like people will know a fucking grift when they see one like this. Like, holy fuck.
People that are in the know, yes, I agree, but I think like there's shit tons of casual gamers that are just like, this game is amazing.
I mean, I think there are casual gamers who are always gonna like it, but like what I'm saying is that like this game is such a blatant like nothing empty game that like
Yeah.
even casual gamers will be able to play after like 5 or 6 hours. They'll just be
Yeah.
like, well, I did it. I went to the island. I got the chest. I turned in
Yeah.
the chest. I got the thing.
And that's
I go
all
back
you
to the
do,
island.
right?
Yeah, that's
It's-
all
it's
that you
just like,
do.
It's
Yeah.
like an open world sandbox, and you're supposed to make your own fun. But it's like, okay, I mean that only goes so far. If you give me like
Yeah.
3 things to do, it's not like, I mean, it's not a game. You basically
maybe it'll
giving
be
me
like No Man's Sky, and in 2 years it'll be a complete game, but
I
everyone
don't
will
know.
have
Yeah,
forgotten
but that's fucked
about
up
it.
because in
and
2 years you already paid $60. Now how much DLC is gonna come out that's gonna be like paid? But
with
they
No
did
Man's
it.
Sky, it was free.
Well,
stuff, so.
the fucking Rare developers at Behind Sea of Thieves did an AMA on Reddit, and they were like, "What do you guys want us to improve?" And it's so stupid because everything that people post, like, "Yeah, we'll look into it." It's just like you're not. They like none of the replies were like, "Yeah, we're working on that. It's coming out XY date or whatever." They're just like, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea." It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? I can do that shit. What the fuck are you doing, man?
So would you guys be way more down to buy it if it was like $30?
I'd be more down
In
to
the
buy
state
it
that
if it
it's
was 20
in,
bucks.
if it was $30.
I mean, if it's $30 and I'm trying to like, it's an open world thing that you have fun. Like, it's not. I don't think it's a game you play solo.
No.
It does not strike me as that kind of game. So
For
like,
$30, I either want to have like maybe 10 to 15 hours of gameplay minimum, or have like a profound
I still wouldn't buy it
experience
for
with
$30. Thinking about the game, what I've seen about it, there's not to me like what I would buy the game is if it had like better combat, and it seems really shitty.
well, it's supposed to be like you have a shitty pistol, right?
Yeah, you have a musket, but like or a blunderbuss because you're a fucking pirate. But like
Yeah.
even like the ship battles and like fighting with your sword.
What's that Ubisoft ship game coming out? It's not coming out
Ubisoft
soon.
ship game.
Isn't
Yeah.
that are you talking about like the competitive looking?
I don't
think
know,
it's like
but
matches.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah, that's like a match-based game, I think, where you just like go into matches and have like ship battles. And,
Oh, is
Oh,
that because
really?
they like made Assassin's Creed 4 and they
Yes.
were like, holy
Yeah.
shit, everyone loves this
Yeah.
pirate shit.
but
We gotta
that's
make
not
it a full
in,
game.
That's not like a sandbox open adventure type.
That'll be
of
cool
game.
though. That'll probably be a good
Yeah,
game.
it'll probably be neat.
Huh.
I still think God, what was that game? For Honor was probably a little bit
Yo.
under.
They put that shit on. They gave it the
It's-
Rainbow Six treatment.
Yeah.
It's $15 now for some shitty version of the
And
game.
there's a sale right now on Steam. It's $20.
Yeah.
I might look into that.
I might pick it up. I had a lot of fun with it in the beta.
I'm not getting into that game. I swore. I'm not gonna do it. Fuck
That's-
that shit, dude.
Fair.
Serious holding strong to his viewpoints here.
Well,
Unless someone gives it to me for free. But otherwise, I will not buy the game.
Sea of Thieves, don't buy it unless you just don't care about games and you just want to buy
Or you
some
love
nonsense.
pirates so much that you pay any price to
Yeah,
pay a
if you
pirate
s-
game for only a short time.
I
Correct.
want to be a pirate in real life.
So what we've been playing, I made a return to Vermintide 2
Yeah, this whole week
After
we've
my-
been returning.
after my initial like kind of bouncing off of it, immediately getting a refund because it just rubbed me the wrong way. I convinced myself to buy it again as I was like, all right.
Yeah,
Horde base. People are saying this is Left 4 Dead 3. There's loot. There's leveling up. This like look. Why don't I like this game? And so I bought it again. I like sat down and forced myself to play 2 or 3 hours of it, and it clicked. Also, I realized what I played was the beta. it was early access, and I didn't even have access to the tutorial. And this time it was fully released, so I had the tutorial, and that made it way better. Like, I didn't even know you could dodge before. Or
so
like,
my main concern is the combat. Is it you didn't play the first one, right?
No.
Okay, so I guess there's really no comparison. But how does it feel to you?
It feels really good once you know what's in your toolkit, which I didn't know the first time I played. I didn't know you could dodge. I didn't know there was heavy strikes. Yeah. I didn't know anything beyond you just spam swing and block.
Which is all I think there is in the first one.
No, so there's
swing and block.
Yeah, there's more to Vermintide 2 in terms of combat, in terms of like when you want to use your ultimate ability, when you should do a heavy swing, when you should do a light swing, how different weapons behave. All those are like factors that affect the gameplay, and it's really neat. I think the biggest issue with the game that I found was definitely lack of content. There's, let me think, 13 missions, and you can get through all 13 on the easiest difficulty in maybe like 8 to 10 hours.
But it's not like you beat it once kind of thing, right?
No. And then once you get your hero power up to a certain level, which is determined by what gear you have and what level you are and stuff like that, then you can move up to veteran, and from there you can move to champion and then legend, and you can replay those 13 missions on harder and harder difficulties.
And I think didn't Vermintide 2 make more money in the first, God, it was something ridiculous, like it made more money in the first week than like the original Vermintide did in its entire lifespan.
That doesn't surprise me. I remember seeing it for the first time on Twitch.
Yeah.
I think they hired some streamers to do some word of mouth stuff, and Vermintide 2 definitely made a splash. Also, I think people are hungrier for a Left 4 Dead style game than they've ever been.
Huh.
So
that's another developer that's been really like into its community and communicating with it, and just like, you know, what do you like, what do you not like?
What developer is that?
Oh God, who does Vermintide 2? I guess we're gonna find out real.
Asking the hard questions.
Yeah, it's not a normal company, right? Develop Fat Shark.
Fat Shark, okay.
Okay, yeah. They did Escape Dead Island. Holy shit, that game was not good. Oh no.
Vermintide 2 is neat though. It depends. I don't think it's like a even Division or Destiny level of like you're gonna put. This is not game as a service. This is a game that you might play for 5 to 6 hours a week. I feel no desire to sit there and grind for 10 hours a day.
So it's not like, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't like make this like a main.
No, this is just like, I mean, I can't imagine anyone like play Left 4 Dead 2 for 10 hours a day either. Just because there's like loot and levels in this game doesn't make it like that style of game as a service where you are playing long hours.
Okay, so there's not like, I get what you're saying.
You hop in, you play a mission, you kill a bunch of rats and zombies, or chaos I think is what they're called.
Right.
You collect your loot, and then you probably put it down for a little bit. If you're feeling really ambitious, you might do 2 or 3 missions.
So it's just like, okay, it's exactly what Left 4 Dead is. Just
yeah, it's exactly that same like level of engagement as Left 4 Dead, where it's really fun, but I can't imagine anyone. I mean, I imagine a few people are no-lifing this game, but I don't feel compelled to in any way because I beat the entire campaign on 1 difficulty. Those higher difficulties aren't introducing anything crazy new to those same missions.
Huh.
Other than just adding health and adding damage and taking away potions from you, so it's hard to heal.
Well, it's cool that you revisited it.
Yeah, and I think right now I've played 15 hours for $30.
Decent.
So, yeah, and I'll continue returning to it. I see no reason why I won't continue whenever I'm just in the mood for it. And it's really nice to have this as like a no pressure, like
just hack and slash.
I'm just in the mood for this right now, so I'll play it whenever.
I got that.
Yep.
So in the spirit of revisiting things.
Yes. The moment I've been waiting for.
So I played Path of Exile.
Yeah.
And
tell me about it.
I remember last week I was saying it was a game for people that hate themselves.
Yeah.
It turns out I hate myself.
Hey Ian, when did you start playing Path? This most recent time.
I don't know.
It's been about a week and a half.
Something.
I've been keeping track of Ian's progress pretty closely because I find it.
You know about how many hours you have on this character?
It's not important.
I know.
Just like a rough ballpark, maybe.
Know? I have a good rough ballpark. I look at his Steam profile. I'm invested into Ian's.
Don't look at my shit.
I'm curious. What is it? What do you think?
I think it's close to 120. It might be.
I heard the 120 number before talking about
120 to 130 in about 10 days. So if we really want to average out, I think you've been playing on average 10 plus hours a day. But it's not
like I'm leaving it online. I'm not just fucking only on it. Like, obviously.
Okay, but so you're probably like, not at the end game, right?
No.
Oh yeah, you're.
I'm not like at the end of the game. Listen.
So wait, you mean this game I've been talking about kind of loosely for the last 13 episodes, and you said it was trash every time? You've put maybe an average of 10 hours a day into for a week and a half.
Let me say that I don't have a fucking job right now. So it's just like this is all I'm doing. So I'm just fucking sitting here playing that. Listen, I was wrong in the aspect that you were right saying it gets better later on when you get into combat, but I definitely stand by what I was saying where initially that combat sucks. Like, I even after playing a lot of it, like after playing multiple hours on my end-ish
early
game,
combat, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Endish game character, going back and like leveling even a new character, that shit is not good.
Just out of curiosity, not like make an argument about it, but did you enjoy the process of becoming more powerful, of having like that early game kind of jankiness, and then no? Okay.
So like to me,
and that's fair. That's just something I enjoy, that jankiness in the beginning, because I'm like, this will stop being janky. I will become fucking powerful.
I think what you're thinking, but you're just going like, I can't wait. That's basically in my mind, I can't wait till I get to end game because this combat sucks. Is what you just said. Like that's what it translates.
I find combat gets more bearable depending on the build around Act 5 or 6.
Yeah, but that's over half the game.
Well,
I mean, like half the story. Like,
yeah.
I mean, even like once you hit endgame and you like get your correct skills or whatever, like I was following a build, and so it just felt like I was sitting there waiting for me to use the skill I wanted to use, and I was just kind of like putting a band-aid bullshit fix on it. I honestly dislike the combat in that, and I think Diablo, like if Diablo had the systems that Path of Exile have, it would.
I agree. I mean, I agree wholeheartedly that like Diablo's combat as a whole is better, but it lacks in every other regard, in my mind.
Okay, so
don't you think the combat's the most important part of the game?
It's definitely a very important part of the game, because I mean, honestly, I would play Diablo if Diablo had, like I said, just a deeper system, because in Path there's like skill gems or whatever, and that's how you create your build, and there's a ton of different builds. In Diablo, your build is basically what's the new tier set, or what's the new like set bonus you get.
It's defined by, it's kind of predefined for you in Diablo.
Yeah, and I mean, as much as I follow build guides and I want to do what's the best, it is kind of lame to just be like, oh, what am I rolling? Well, this season they have this gear set, so I guess you take those skills, and it's just like, okay, I mean that's kind of cool for a little bit, but like, what if I want to make that character do something different? And you can, but it's just like, it's just super janky.
And with Path of Exile, I think, like I've said before, is that certain builds are definitely better than others. But when they are better, that means you're going to be spending a lot more time and a lot more currency making that character, because more people are playing that build, so those items are priced higher.
Yeah.
So I like that there is just kind of this innate con to playing the most powerful builds in the game. Because chances are, if you're playing the most powerful build available, you're not going to get that gear in the time that a league lasts, unless you're truly no-lifing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a weird game. Like, honestly, I went into it, into Path, rather, just like, kind of just trying it because I heard what you were talking about, and I wanted to try the new league or whatever, and I had a fucking infinite amount of free time, so who cares? And it was just, I definitely pushed through some points. Like once I got to around Act 5, I was enjoying it a little bit more, but that's pretty deep into the game.
You have to I agree that you have to push past. But once you do push past, like you're never gonna push past again. If you return to this game in future leagues, you're not gonna have that same feeling.
Right. I mean, my main hang up other than that is you know, in Diablo, you have like a basically endless treadmill gear, well, not gear grind, but like endless treadmill, like pushing kind of grind with greater rifts and how they just scale infinitely. In this game, there isn't that. On top of that, and this is just something from, even though I put an obscene amount of hours into, you like picking up an item and knowing how much it's worth is extremely difficult in this game. And you can price check it on a different website and you can input the stats, but I mean, in a game that's like an ARPG and it's based around I want to go in and I want to smash it, I want to kill it and whatever, and I want to just grind through whatever. Having to stop after every map, which is basically a rift, which is basically just like a area where you go and kill monsters to get loot.
Yeah, randomly generated little area.
Yeah, after every map to have to stop and like, you know, after you fill up a certain tab or whatever and just spend, you know, 30 minutes just pricing out items is like super it really bums me out, and I find myself not doing it because I dislike that. That being said, I do like the aspect, and it just goes hand in hand with it, right? I guess it's like a necessary evil. I like the aspect where you have like your own little shop almost, when people like, you know, message you, and then, you know, you get...
It adds a layer of social interaction, even if it's just such like a tiny thing, that it reminds you that this is a multiplayer game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good game, and I definitely am glad I went back for it, and I was wrong in the aspect where I thought it was I thought it was a good game, but not that good of a game. I definitely enjoy it way more now, but there's just so much shit you have to go through to like get to the point when you like actually like the game.
Sure.
Unless you're very into,
and that's fair,
like these complex system mechanics. And then you'll like it.
That kind of goes back to what Sierra said earlier. It's like, isn't the combat the most important part? And to that, I would say for an ARPG, not necessarily. Like, it depends on where you're coming from with it. But, like, the combat is on a lower priority for me for this style of game than, like, how deep the systems are outside of combat. Like, what loot am I getting? Like, how is this on the market? Like, what, all the exterior systems that keep me grinding or keep me going you can have a game with the best combat in the world, but if it doesn't have all those systems outside of it, I don't have a reason to keep doing it, even if the combat is fun. Because no matter what, even in Diablo, that combat is going to get old, and those exterior systems are going to be what sustains you.
I think that the exterior, unless you're talking about that, like, you get joy from like making a good deal on the market.
I get joy from making a good deal on the market, or like picking up loot and being like, all right, so this has resistances in life, but it's lacking this thing. So I start thinking like, maybe if I craft
and like theory crafting is fun,
and
right?
just like problem solving. So it's like a good mix of like just brain dead grinding, but also
to me, I think that I know that you see it that way.
Yeah.
Like, I think that we can both believe these two things at the same time. That they don't conflict with each other. To me, all of those outside systems are there to supplement the combat. The reason I get excited about getting sick loot is because I'll be better at combat. The reason I got this item, so I get more money so I can buy this armor piece so I can be better at combat.
And I agree with that.
You know? So to me, the combat's a central part. And all the systems are vital. The outside shit you need that shit to make the combat as good as it is to keep you coming back, because it will get stale if you don't have progress. But the combat to me is still number one, still the most important part of the game. And that's why I think I still prefer Diablo. I like Path, and I'll probably continue with it at least just to finish the story.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'll be just doing like maps like you guys are doing.
If you make it that far, I would say just do a little bit into maps, because that's really when it starts getting going. And it'd be kind of a shame to cut off before the part.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably do maps a little bit, but I know that I just wouldn't stick with it. Even, I don't know, I wouldn't enjoy it that much, I don't think.
I think my problem with it is I've just come into the game so late into its, life. Like, it's kind of throwing it way back. When I played Warframe a lot, it was just like, you go into this game, and there's just so many different things because the game's been out for so long that you spend almost as much time playing the game just looking up shit about the game. And I mean, that's so like prevalent in Path, where I'm just like, I'll play the game, and I've been playing for 50 hours, and then something new drops, and it's just like, what the hell is that? Like, you know, it's just some whole other system that I didn't even play.
I mean,
that's
like, I get excited about League in like the same kind of way, where it's like if I'm like reading online, someone's like, "Hey, I tried out this new build and it did really well," and I was like, "Oh my god, I could do that shit."
Yeah,
like,
and
that makes me excited. And makes me want to play.
I mean, I guess where you view that as maybe a con, like I view it as a positive. Also, the more time you put into it, the less you're going to be looking stuff up.
Yeah, no, it's 100%, and it kind of goes back to, you know, my problem with like having to stop and price shit out.
Yeah,
it's just I haven't played enough.
And that's also a problem that solves itself if you put in the time. Where, you know, you said up to 30 minutes. There is no way I'm spending more than 50 seconds between maps, like pricing things.
Well, it's just like, I don't know. There's so many because there's so many different variations of builds. Like I'll look at an item and I look at my build, and I'm very much like the like the tanky kind of.
Yeah, you're playing Cyclone, which is like the classic whirlwind.
Yeah,
like I am too.
I want life and I want resistances on pieces of gear, right? That's easy. But you know, other pieces might want like stun and block recovery or increased flash recharge, which is just like weird.
I should write like maybe just like a quick document for you, because I don't think it's as complicated. It's easy to make a decision there where like you think it's, or where you want to overcomplicate it, but it's actually not that complicated. There's like maybe a list of 10 things you're looking for on items. It's not like 500 or anything like that. It's like I look out for 10 things and I can quickly determine if those 10 things apply.
Right. I mean, like, for the most part, I'm getting better at it. Like, I'm definitely like, oh, that it's a boot and it doesn't have any movement speed. All right, I'm tossing it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, there's shit like that I'm getting better at, but it's still because it's so deep that it takes so much time to get into.
Yeah.
I'm having to stop, and that really, like, I agree with Sirius. For me, it's combat. I like, you know, I like that feeling where there's a giant pack of monsters and you leap into it and spin around and you just fucking have a gore explosion. And that's
I guess my question for you is, do you think the combat is that much worse than Diablo 3 at in-game? I mean, I haven't played Diablo 3 in a while, so it's
I think the term that much worse is, I think it's worse.
I think in addition to the combat being worse, I think Diablo looks better to me personally.
Okay, I don't like Diablo 3's aesthetic,
and that enhances the the enjoyment of like seeing what I'm doing.
And the other thing is, it just because it's not Path's fault. It's just it's a free to play game, and it's a Blizzard game that you have to pay money for. And this one's, like I said, free. I think you look cooler in Diablo. I mean, like, you can pay money to get microtransactions or whatever to look cooler, but I mean, and there's certain things in the game, like certain legendaries have a microtransaction cosmetic associated with it, and then there's also like you can play the league or the certain season or whatever, and you can get cosmetics that way, but it's not compared to like you can in Diablo.
Yeah, with transmog and everything like that. Yeah, in terms of the cosmetic system, Diablo 3 definitely wins in that regard.
Right, without putting money into it, because I do think you can look cooler than you do in Diablo in Path, but you have to
There's some really fucking cool armor in Path. You're also going to be spending maybe 20 to 30 bucks to get it.
If you're trying to get a whole set, that shit's $40 easy.
Well, I will always refer to the supporter packs. You can spend $60, which I just view as buying the game if you already put 100 hours into it or whatever. I don't think anyone should go out and buy a supporter pack until they know they've gotten that value out of it and they feel good about it. But you get, for $60, you'll get a full armor set, and then you'll also get all
of your choosing.
No,
random one.
It's not
or like
you know, you know what you're getting. It's dependent on the support pack, and then you get $60 worth of points as well. So you're just getting that armor set for free essentially, and getting the same amount of points you would have got anyway.
I don't think you're getting $60 worth of points.
Yeah, it might be. You might lose 50 points, so $5 on it, but that's it. It's no more than a $50 or $5 difference. Ian's looking it up.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I remember looking at it. I mean, like,
scroll down to this is.
I mean, okay, yeah, you lose 50 points, but you're
getting a full armor set. You're getting a cloak. You're getting a weapon effect, pet, social
but like,
frame.
I mean, it's all cosmetic shit. Like, there's no reason for getting the supporter pack unless you want this loot, basically, because then you would just buy the points.
Well, I mean, if you're going to buy those points, that means you can now get onto here, and this will only cost you $5.
Right, if you're going to buy those points. Like, if you're going to spend $60 on points, then you should get the support.
Or if you're spending $30 on points, you don't get the armor, but you still get some effects and stuff. And everything you spend in game. So if I buy, say, $15 worth of points in game, that means the $30 supporter pack will now cost me $15.
Okay.
All the points you spend in game will also go towards these supporter packs. I think it's a really.
What do you mean? So if I spent $20 on points in game,
if you spend $20, the $30 supporter pack will now be $10 to get.
Huh.
I think it's like the most like feel good fucking awesome like microtransaction. I know at first glance armor looks expensive, but
I mean it is expensive.
It is expensive, sure. I'll give. But I don't know. Like Dana spent she loved the game. She played 100+ hours. She spent $60 like it was a full game. She got her armor set. She got all the stash tabs she would ever need for the rest of this game's existence. She could never spend another dime on this game and be done at $60. And I 100% believe, at least for myself, I put over 500 to 600 hours in this game. 100% worth $60.
On the flip side, though, like for it being a free-to-play game, and I mean, free-to-play games always are going to want you to spend money, but
yeah.
There's too many things in this game to only have the default amount of stash tabs. There's just too many things. And I mean, like, especially if you want to sell something to another player, you almost have to buy a premium tab.
How many hours did you play before you...
I'm not saying that, like, you shouldn't put money into it because of that, but I'm saying if you can't put money into a game right now, right? If you don't have enough money to spend on it,
yeah,
right, and you're playing this game, once you hit end game, you are going to be hindered because you can't sell things.
And that is a fair criticism. But and the only counter to that I would say is you're going to spend probably get 60 hours out of it, at least around 60 hours before you feel like compelled to spend money. Which for me is like crazy for a free-to-play game.
No, I mean there's way worse free-to-play games out there.
But I agree with your criticism. I just want to make it clear that like comparatively with other free-to-play games, it's like the most unoffensive shit ever.
I think Warframe's less offensive, but I mean I guess it's just kind of what you want to do.
The Warframe is also still feel good. I definitely felt compelled.
I mean, I've played both of them, and I think Warframe's less offensive than
I played Warframe too, but I was definitely compelled to spend money in Warframe sooner than I was. It was more in my face.
It's definitely more in your face.
It was in Warframe. It was way more in my face. Whether they're different in terms of like value for your dollar, there was more in my face from the beginning than Path of Exile.
They definitely advertise it more, but like you never, in my experience, you never go into Warframe and like boom, you have to spend money to upgrade a tab or whatever. I mean, like you can upgrade space, but in Warframe, you sell shit for the premium currency, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's no way to earn this except spending money, right? So in Warframe, if you get a cool item, you can sell that shit for premium currency, and now you effectively spent money when you.
So
didn't spend any money.
You have definitely mentioned what like you didn't enjoy about Path, but what are some of the things you think it does well?
Okay, so 100% the system, right? Like even though it sucks having to learn it all, diving that deep is fun. I feel like I kind of went over that, right? I mean, like it's just like I don't know, it's a fun game, and I enjoy it. The combat is okay at the end of the game, like it's serviceable. I'm not sure if it's like crazy. The movement sucks. Like the movement skill.
You're going back on.
I'm sorry, but like
okay, what has compelled you to play 120 hours of this game in like 10 to 11 days?
Okay, listen. All right, I think I've played. I think it's been longer than 10 to 11
you're
days.
sticking on the hours too much. Let's just get to the point.
The league has only been active for maybe 16 to 18 days.
I don't know.
I think.
I honestly don't know.
And you started at least a week.
I honestly don't know what to tell you. Like I don't know why I'm sticking with a game as long as I am. Like I said, I think I just enjoy the systems and how deep it is. And I mean, the social aspect is fun, even though it is annoying at points. Like,
do you think you're gonna play Path for much longer?
It depends.
Are you still playing it as much as you were?
No, I'm definitely not playing it as much as I was, and I'm not sure if that means I'm falling off or I'm just like, I'm getting closer and closer to the where there's no longer any content.
Do you think that you would consider returning for future leagues?
Oh yeah, I mean like if it's shit that I care about, like because I'm basically playing Path of Exile for the first time, and I'm playing it in a league, right? But the league doesn't really matter to me because it's not like I have no basis for endgame, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like this whole crafting beast thing isn't it's new for everyone, but it's also the whole game's new for me. So I don't know.
To be fair, the pattern with Path of Exile in terms of like falling off of it is they find that people make it maybe halfway through the league and then drop off. But those players always end up returning for future leagues.
But I mean, that's ARPGs.
It's generally like the pattern, and that's fair with any league kind of stuff based game as well. But like, if you fall off, I believe at this point, I will probably see you playing again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad. I like the game. I enjoy the game. It's just like.
And I've skipped entire leagues personally. I'll play a league like this one. I'm playing a lot, and I might skip the next league because I might not want to just do back to back. Might take 3 months off, come back, whatever. Like it does. I never feel pressured to play the game. I guess, which is nice.
All right, we cover everything we want to talk about.
We did indeed.
You guys have any closing thoughts? Path of Exile is the best game ever.
I'm kind of hungry. That's my closing thought.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna get Persona soon. I think about it more and more every day, and I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna play it.
It's one of those games.
I would like to hear about it.
It's kind of like
I played through Persona 3 and enjoyed it greatly. I played through the first couple hours of Persona 4 and enjoyed it, but I was playing it on an emulator, and something happened, and I stopped playing it.
Play Persona 5 on emulator?
4.
Oh, okay.
You can also play Persona 5 on emulator because Persona 5 came out on PS3, yeah.
Persona 5 is like
But I wouldn't do that. I would play it on PS4.
It's like The Witcher 3 to me where you can't have another game. Like if you
Yeah, that's what I'm ready for. Like I'm ready because it's fucking anime and I'm a fucking weeb, I'm gonna be like, hell yeah, I'm ready to just like play like only this game.
Yeah.
For like a couple weeks.
That's the problem I keep running into with being like diehard Rocket League all the time is I never can only play one game because I'm always playing Rocket League. I imagine you guys have that with League.
That's what I was talking about last night. We were all hanging out here and playing Dragon Ball Fighters, and I was talking to Pat. I don't know if I was talking to the rest of you guys too when I was talking about it, but it was like, I want to get good at Dragon Ball Z, but to do that would mean I have to play League less because I put so much time into League. And like,
but you still enjoy League.
Yeah, the thing is, I enjoy League. Yeah, and so like, I
enjoy Rocket League.
Yeah, so but the problem is that like I don't enjoy playing with you guys Dragon Ball as much because you're all way better than me, and like I don't even know the controls because I stopped playing because I just play League all the time, and I want to put more time in Dragon Ball Z, but like I don't know. I think I
was talking to Scotty about this with fighting games in particular. If you want to sandbag or throw a match and just kind of if you want to like. You know, if I'm playing you serious, I have put undoubtedly way more hours into it than you. But it's like, okay, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, so it doesn't feel good for me to win when I know that you're like, oh, well, you're not trying, or you're playing with characters that you never played with before. You know, it's like, it's like, all right, well, I won, but only because like you let.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel good for me because it's like I know you're not enjoying it, so it's like why play? So I don't know.
Yeah,
it will never be worth it for me to ever dive into another competitive game as long as I'm playing Rocket League.
But you should at least try other competitive games because maybe
I know it's just a lot of dollar investment to like.
Maybe you enjoy something more than Rocket League. You know? Maybe, somebody who said, hey, I don't want to play Path of Exile, boom, plays Path of Exile. Maybe you're saying,
yeah, but
you'll
Path
never
of Exile,
play.
again, you don't feel obligation to play. With competitive games, you kind of develop, or I do at least, a kind of sense of obligation to play it, to maintain, or at least maintain, like, how good you are at it. Whereas with Path of Exile, you don't feel that. I don't feel that with Path of Exile, which is why, like, Rocket League and Path of Exile are, like, my constant rotating games.
I kind of feel some pressure to play Path right now. But that's like the pressure isn't like Path is making me want to play it. It's like I just want to complete it to get a full sense. Like honestly,
to feel like completion.
Yeah, like it's
what
weird.
Is called closure.
I'm usually okay at like I like a game and I can find why I like a game. But Path is just kind of like I have like a weird relationship with where I'm not exactly sure why I enjoy it.
I think it has some
maybe
certain, like Skinner box properties where it's just like you do the thing, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Maybe we can revisit this after you either drop off or finish it, and we can see if you can kind of identify what your feelings are towards it later on.
Yeah, there's something about, like, I played it up through Act 3, and I'll probably go back to it, like, sometime this week, but, like, I just don't feel, like, really compelled to play it.
And that's a lot of...
When I'm playing it, when I'm in the game, like, I won't even say I enjoy it, but I don't, like, dislike it either. I'm just kind of clicking through.
I 100% am with you, and I started Path just... after like I played ranked League for a bit, I was just like, I want just a wind down game where I don't have to think.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, especially if I play like a really long game of League or a really intense game, I'll just be like, I want to I don't know, just chill.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And where you're at Act 1, 2, and 3, I thought were the worst acts.
Yeah, it really does get better in a meaningful way.
Yeah,
and you might even find yourself like changing how you approach it differently, depending on how far you get.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's been Casually Toxic Podcast, episode 13.
It was a good one.
See you guys in 2 weeks.